good is it? Before we answer that question, we have to know what is a libertarian. Then we can talk about why you should vote libertarian. And then we can talk about what happens if you don't vote libertarian. Sound good? All right. So what's a libertarian? We libertarians are different from the two old parties because we are the party of principle. Every law we support, every law we oppose can all be traced back to one central idea. The idea that your life is yours, that your property is yours, that you have the God-given, inalienable right to live your life your way without interference, provided only that you respect the rights and property of others. That's it. That's what it means to be a libertarian. Your life, your way, as long as you respect others. It's the golden rule on a political level. And the public has reacted very strongly to this message. Since our founding in 1971, we have grown to become the third largest party, hands down, outnumbering all the other third parties put together. In terms of elected officials, we have right now about 40 in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure about New Jersey. There's about 150 nationwide. And again, that outnumbers all the other third parties put together. Clearly, we are the third largest party on the national scene. So that's who we are. Why should you vote for us? Well, obviously, because we're going to let you live your life your way. Not Obama's way, not Lyndon LaRouche's way, not somebody else's way, not my way, not the highway, your way. That's why you should vote for a libertarian. We are a party of principle. When you vote for a libertarian, you know what you're going to get. Our platform in 1971, it's the same platform today. When I ran in 2002, I upgraded my platform to 2014, nothing changed. With the Democrats and Republicans, you have to go back and look again. What are they supporting today? Higher taxes. Oh no, no lower taxes. No, no. Foreign intervention. No, no, no foreign intervention. Every 6 months it changes. With libertarians, you know what you're getting, unlike the two old parties. One of my favorite things is when they say, oh, don't vote libertarian. Voting libertarian is a wasted vote. Yeah, right. I don't know about you, but I would rather vote for what I want and not get it than vote for what I don't want and heaven forbid get it. It's the last thing I would want. And one of the worst things is when you vote for these guys, you say, well, let me vote for the lesser of two evils. Dude, you're still voting for an evil. Where's that at? And if you do vote for the lesser of two evils, that evil, he doesn't see you holding your nose when you're going to vote. All he sees is your vote. And he says, yeah, this guy agrees with me. They take that as a mandate to implement their evil policies. Is that really what you want? Not me, not at all. Voting libertarian sends a very strong message that you don't agree with either one of those guys. And when you do that often enough, when they're watching often enough, they start to change their positions. In 2002, I was the only one calling for an end to the drug war. Today, my wife just got back from Seattle. You should hear the stories she tells. The government, of course, is controlling the pot supply there. There are shortages. Surprise! It's not a waste of money. Think of your vote as $1. If you go into the store and they got tomatoes there, there's some tomatoes that have been out in the sun too long, there are others that are green, and then these big, bright red, juicy ones. Which one are you going to buy? The junky ones? Your vote is like $1. You spend it on the best possible thing you can buy. But if you vote for the two old parties, it doesn't matter. When you vote, you want to vote for spending $1, you want to buy the absolute best thing you can. In my opinion, the only wasted vote is the one you cast for one of the two old parties. That's why you should vote libertarian. There are many other reasons why you should vote libertarian. I can break it down to 5 categories. There are economic reasons, there are social reasons, personal reasons, moral reasons, and even spiritual reasons why we should vote libertarian. Let me just touch on each one briefly with one quick example. First, let's start economic reasons. I already touched on this, I mentioned this earlier. You don't want government involved in the economy, certainly not through the power of taxation. In Pennsylvania, the cost of government has been rising at more than 3 times the rate of inflation for over 50 years. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat in office, it doesn't matter if it's a Republican in office. Good times, bad times, high inflation in the Carter years or low inflation times, the direction is always up. The only way that trend will end is if you vote for a Libertarian. Obviously, the two old parties have proven their stripes. So there's a good economic reason to vote Libertarians. You know, 80% of Pennsylvania's budget is giveaway programs. 60% of national budget go to giveaway programs. In fact, of the $3.5 trillion budget, income is $2.3 trillion. The rest is borrowed. The cost of the welfare state is $2.2 trillion. Virtually every dollar coming in goes out for the welfare state. You can't trust these guys. That's why you should vote Libertarian. A good economic reason. A good social reason. It's big in the news now. I championed this back in 2002. Gay marriage. Do you know where marriage licenses began? Who knows? One. Everybody should know this. A couple of you do. They instituted marriage licenses over 100 years ago to prevent interracial marriage. I was being interviewed at the Philadelphia Tribune, black newspaper. When I asked that question, they're like, they know. Most people don't know. And today they're using those same racist techniques against gays. Well, I'm against racism, and I think you have the right to live your life your way. I'm a libertarian, right? The solution here is not to say, well, we'll let them have gay marriage. Well, no. Government should get the heck out of the marriage business entirely. No marriage licenses. If you want to get together with somebody, that's your business. So if Jim and I decide that we're going to combine our fortunes together and our lives together, that's a matter for me and Jim to decide. And Roberta too, I guess. She's kind of going to say. What we should do, again, get government out of it. We should allow government to do its role, which is to protect the rights and property of the citizens. That's all there is. So, if Jim and I decide we're going to have right of inheritance, we're going to sign an agreement saying we have right of inheritance, medical power of attorney, child custody, whatever it may be. And all these boons that go to married people, we could choose. Maybe Jim says, no, I don't want you to have my medical power of attorney. My mom's got that, and that's where it's going to stay. Fine. Where do we need government in all this? Only to protect your rights if the contract gets violated. Now, I don't know about New Jersey. Pennsylvania's already got this. Our eldest daughter, I was as proud as any dad could possibly be. She officiated over the wedding of one of her friends. Part of Pennsylvania law is to allow Quakers to have a self-officiating marriage. Probably you have it here in Jersey too. You probably have a lot of Quakers. So she stood up there. Do you take so-and-so? And she's up there doing all the readings. I now pronounce you man and wife. My daughter. How about that? Where's that at? No marriage license, no blood test, no government. Get it out. Anyway, social reason. Get government out of the way. It causes the problems. It doesn't cure the problems. Personal reason to vote. War on drugs. Can't go any further than war on drugs. How many people have smoked pot?
Now?
No, ever. Right. Well, if you had gotten caught, your life would have been ruined. That's one thing. But this really hit home with me about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. My brother was diagnosed with cancer. And he was taking chemotherapy treatments. He's cured. Thank God he's alive and healthy and well right now. It's been, like I said, 20 years. But at the time, the chemotherapy was really killing him because he couldn't eat, he couldn't keep anything down. The doctor said, the best thing I can tell you is go out on the corner and score some pot. Because it's going to boost your appetite, it's going to level out all these other readings and everything. The war on drugs made my brother a criminal. Why are we persecuting sick people? Cut me a break. How much more personal can it get than that? And if my wife wants to go to Seattle and smoke a joint, well, that's our business. So there's a personal reason to vote Libertarian. There are moral reasons. And the best moral reason that I can point to is taxation. Because we Libertarians, we know that taxation is theft. And it's easy to prove. If I took your wallet without your permission, I'd be a thief. If all of us in this room voted to take your wallet, we'd all be thieves. But somehow, when Hightstown does it, or New Jersey does it, or America does it, it's okay. What happened? Where did we cross the line? When did it change from theft to status quo? The answer is it didn't. Taxation is still theft. Theft is theft no matter how many people agree to it. That's what we libertarians think. And who better could you put in charge of taxation than a libertarian? It'd be like putting a Jesuit priest in charge of an abortion clinic. You know things are going to cut back. So there's a moral reason to do it. Get you.
So if libertarians are anarchists and they believe in minimal state, and let's for argument's sake say it's police, military, courts,
Yep.
everything else is private,
Yep.
how do we at least fund the core minimal state?
I have an easy answer for that. One word answer. Remember short answers and long answers? Voluntarily. Number one thing. And you know what? You go right into my next subject because that's really, I guess that's a practical question. Didn't work it in here. This is more like close to a spiritual reason. Let me give you an answer. Do you know what happens? Let's say you took $1 and send it to Washington. Do you know what happens to that dollar when you send it to Washington? The first thing that happens, most of it vanishes into bureaucracy. This is what comes back to the states. But the state has their own bureaucracy. When it finally gets to the program, you're lucky if you get a dime on the dollar back. Worse yet, they play politics with your money. Instead of going to the person who needs it, it goes to their political buddies. They play politics with your money. Where if you kept that money locally, you could help out 10 times as many people. And by keeping control locally, you'd be able to eliminate a lot of the waste. So by doing it voluntarily, you get a lot more bang for the buck. You get a lot more focus and things like that. And when you're looking at the larger scale, because I'm looking at it from a Pennsylvania point of view, if you're looking at it nationally, I'm sure Boeing knows that their plant in Seattle is right there on the coast and is open to invasion. I know Boeing would contribute. I know that the Ronald McDonald House in New Jersey here, down the shore, has helped people I personally know. There's so much good in American people for contributions, not just regular people, but companies as well, that they'd be willing to contribute to this. Now, the numbers would be less, so we wouldn't have standing armies in 107 different countries. We'd have to focus on those things that are important, like defending America. We wouldn't have boondoggles where your congressman is flying all over the world, unless people thought it was important. And I have to get a plug in for my novel, which you mentioned, Atlas Snubbed. This is the key. This holds the key for reducing the size of the welfare state, and that is the separation of society and state. It points out how we can create a separate organization, which I call society, to help the poor, to help the needy, to help the people who are challenged, the homeless. I would recommend you read it. I'm not going to get into the details of it, otherwise I think I'm here to sell my book. But it's online, available at all major retailers, and at atlassnubbed.com. But there are so many ways to do this. And we could spend a whole day talking about other ways of doing it. Contract insurance to pay for courts. In my novel, I outline a way of having the courts that are done by the people, where anybody can form a court, but it's all built around the same central principle, that you have the right to live your life your way, as long as you respect the rights and property of others. And then the jury listens to the case, and the jury decides. If the jury thinks it's okay for you to go around robbing people, they'll find you not guilty. If they think not, they'll find you guilty. I can go on about that one for a while, too. So, moral reasons. Spiritual reasons that they can help. And another spiritual reason is, I was raised Roman Catholic, and I know my Bible. And one thing I know is that before Jesus' time, everybody was concerned about their tribe, their king. After Jesus came along, he said, no, no, no. You personally are responsible for your salvation. You have responsibility. You have a responsibility to others, you have a responsibility to yourself. But it's not your tribe, it's not your king, it's you who is responsible. And when you read the Bible, Jesus has the first libertarian message. I'm not saying Jesus is a libertarian, I would never be so cheeky as to say that. But he was the first one to focus on the individual. So there's a spiritual reason why. So I can go on and on. I said I'd keep this one short. We can leave it there. But if you want somebody that's going to let you live your life your way, if you want to keep more of your hard-earned pay, if you want to be able to help more people, if you want to do the right moral thing, you only have one choice. This is Vote Libertarian. Any questions?